Prayer session, an initiative by Pray for Alex movement.
Amandla awethu, amandla awethu, amandla. Thank you very much, Nhlanhla. I think as you've said, igama lami Floyd Wabangwenya. I'm one of the co-founders of Pray for Alex movement, which started last year in 2019. But before I go there, I just wanted to start with the word that I started with. I said amandla, and I want to at least talk about that for a minute because I personally feel like somewhere along the line we've lost the meaning of what amandla awethu means to us, particularly as abantu abamnyama. Firstly, we know that the word is associated with comrades or politics in most cases. That's why in many gatherings or in churches, when you come and say amandla, some people back mangalele with a comrade lagu. But I think the most important thing is to go back and search ukuthi le gama belisetshenziswa kanjani, belisetshenziswa nini, obani. My understanding on the word with amandla, and we say awethu, it was to show the strength that we have as abantu when we are united. So when I say amandla and you say awethu, it shows the unity nalamandla esinawo masihlangene sonke rather than divided. So that's why I started ngalelo gama to say amandla, so that you could say awethu, because before we found ourselves in this pandemic that we are currently facing, COVID-19, last year and even year before that, we had a pandemic that seems to be ongoing of a gender-based violence. And unfortunately, if we are not united, then we are not going to be able to fight against this pandemic. I remember when Nhlanhla called me and said, Floyd, I know you as an activist, I know you as a young person who's energetic, a young person who tries and finds solutions to zonke inkinga ezinazo. She said to me, I'm thinking that we are faced with this pandemic, gender-based violence. What is it that we can do to make sure that at least we touch base or we go to the ground, we start having conversations? Because part of the problem we have is that we hide ourselves. We have these conversations in closed doors to a point that we can never find a solution for this country. So when Nhlanhla called me and I called Usem and say, no, asihlanganise amakhanda and see what is it that we can do. As small as it is, but we believed that wherever in our corners, if we start something that now highlights what the problem is and we try and find solution, that is part of fighting gender-based violence. It doesn't matter how many of us are here, how many people did not come. But the main priority is that kunabantu abazile. And as you go here today, there must be something that you said, I pledge, I'm taking part in fighting against this pandemic. So last year in August, when we did our first program, Pray for Alex, I think we focused too much on numbers. Okay, so we want 100 people or we want 200 people. But this year, I think the lesson that COVID taught us is that it doesn't matter how many people come. As long as we're going to have people who took their time to come here and say, I'm saying I stand against gender-based violence and I'll play my part in whichever corner that I am at. Last year we had a number, I think we had close to 120, if I'm not mistaken, of people. And this year we said, no, it's fine. Whoever will come to this program will come and we'll make sure that we engage, we talk. because at the end of the day, it's about all of us that were here. We are saying we need to start having this conversation, interacting with one another, clarifying issues that we have in Alexandra, and then we can come with a solution. Mine was very simple, was just to welcome everyone that is here. Everyone othathe isikhathi sakhe ukuthi azolalela la ama-views wabanye abantu, and I'm hoping before the session ends we will give it to the platform, to the floor, at least to have a few words from different people ukuthi how do they feel about gender-based violence and what are some of the solutions that they have for gender-based violence. But in closing, thank you very much for coming. This is only the beginning. I think each and every year we're going to do this, and we're planning to do it even more. But the most important part of it is that we'll never focus on numbers. We'll focus on the lives that we're going to touch, or on the people that will be there, making sure that our solutions and practical solutions, we find them. Ngiyabonga. Thank you.
I don't want to sound old because I'm very young. We live in the times of fast food and slow digestion. And when Floyd was very worried with this year, maybe we shouldn't do it, should we do it? I was like, you know what, maybe if we put a poster of like cocktails, I'm sure because like young people today, we live in a virtual world, we live in a world that is very fake, and we want to portray that picture that we are happy. We are raised in homes of sharp tongues and stillness, that you're not supposed to feel pain, that you're not supposed to talk about things, and when you talk about things, we are papa. So we are very afraid of awakening the masses, and it's very important to do so. Mara, like even now when we were entering the hall, I saw a group of my friends, and I'm like, how guys, you've been sharing the poster, Mara, you're not coming. They're like, prayer, man, we'll come on your march or something else. So like, it's really important that we deal with problems from the roots, because every time I say kaphezulu, isilonda siyasilimaza, yazi isilonda masilimele usifaka amabhandishi mara ungayi maybe ka-doctor uyobuza ukuthi yini inkinga, angeke siphole the way kumele siphole ngakhona. So gender-based violence isilonda, and as sisabhekane nalesilonda lesi siyafunda as people, because at first mina when I heard of gender-based violence I just thought of women, and then there've been aspects of there are children, there's the LGBTQI community, there's men, all humans. It's a human pandemic. It's not only about women, it's not only about children. And I'm really hoping that today, each and every one of us will take something from this session. With that being said, Charles from No Excuse.
Thank you, Mtata, for this opportunity. So today, I think we are all blessed because we're coming here to take action. This is an action. If you start jumping your door from at home, your doorstep, and getting up, you take a step and say, we're going to stand up and fight this gender-based violence. You can't fight gender-based violence in the house. You can't fight gender-based violence inside. You need to step up and say, enough is enough. And then I'd like to thank all of you today who are coming here and then showing that we need to pray, because if you put God first, everything will follow. God will guide us, will give us the way to fight this. God will do everything. That's why I said if you put God first, everything will go. And then today, myself, I'm just going to, at the end I will give you the pledge, but now I just wanted to give you some statistics of men, because most of the time women are just coming out and stand up, but men are left behind, and many, they are crying in silence. Siphelile lesi sikhathi sokuthi indoda iyakhala. Thina sithi indoda iyakhala ngoba once indoda iyakhala, angithi all the pains izohamba. Lama pains azohamba ngoba amadoda awana space uyabona mabahlangana ama-tavern they drink and drink and drink angekho umuntu akhulumayo uthi what is your problem abanye baphuziswa ngenkinga ngoba abazi ukuthi bazotshela abantu. That's the fact. So thina umsebenzi siyenzayo sivule a platform yokuthi men can come together, not like at the hall and talk about your problem. Sijila ngama 10 men every day where we come together and talk about the real issues that are happening. Ngoba abantu abakhulumi ngawo lama issues. And for that, sicala ukujila nga root causes. The root causes yokuthi kwazi ukuthi inkinga iqala kuphi. The root causes yokuthi wazi ukuthi uCharles makuthiwa ubulele umfazi nengane. Don't judge uCharles angaboshwa. What happened? uCharles abulele umfazi nengane zakhe. There is a story behind the curtains. And most of the time, people they don't want to look at that story. They said, men are better men are shit and all that. But I'm saying men are champion. So the statistic is 76% of suicide are men. 76% of suicide. If you look at around, most of the men bahamba on silos abakhulumi, that's why most of them they end up commit suicide. And then 85% of homeless are men. Look around the street where you go. You will see that most of homeless are men. And then 70% of homicide victims are men. 40% of domestic abuse victims are men. Men on average save 64% longer in prison. And then men on average are 3 by 4 times more likely to be in prison than women when both commit the same crime. If you look at the center now, there is a center for abused women and children. Where is the center of abused boys and men? Because those people are being abused. Mangije, I'm being abused, but there's no center. Where can I go and get safety? We end up on the street. So if the policy, they're going to change it and look at these ways. Because mentoring, must tell you something, you are the picture. You are the mirror of your son. You are the mirror of somebody. That's why sizala abantwana basuka abangazi ukuthi bazokhuluma iphi language. Le language ayikhuluma ekhaya azanithukana uzothukana naye because ukhopha leyo nto niyenzayo. Then if you drink, if you plant the milli you can harvest that one. If you uphuza phambi komntwana wakho uzenza what you do. Because you're planting the seed. At the end, that's why today we are crying. We said, Abantwana, there's no mentorship. But on my program, when we run around with men, if what is meant to be a man? To drive a BMW, you are a man. Over about 10, you are the man. So, where one country is lost, that's why we need intervention. God will intervene. So, today I just want to say that, and then Songs of Authority Sisubu may say the pledge. The pledge, you will follow what I'm reading here, then as a pledge. The pledge as a champion. I acknowledge the damage caused by gender-based violence in my community.
I acknowledge the damage.
And believe that there's no excuse for it. So today I pledge. Not to be a bystander. And not to be silent. I pledge to always take action against women abuse. Thank you. So, in closure, for everyone, on a page, we don't believe what is in the issue of Yama t-shirt and no excuse. On a website where you go, Mix Academy, which abantu don't wear a t-shirt if you know excuse, but you end up not standing up against gender-based violence. So good a course online. If you want to go through that one, you go to Father in Nation Academy. Maungena kuyo in a free course, no excuse. When you go through that course, I'm a stages. When you finish that course, automatically you download a certificate for gender-based violence, because we encourage people to learn and understand about gender-based violence. Question you answer, you understand the gender-based violence. Then when you're done about that, my number is 072-500-7686. Welcome to the course. I'm going to a certificate. You send to that WhatsApp, arrange a t-shirt, and then all of us, so that we can wear no excuse, knowing and understanding that we stand up and fight against gender-based violence, I think.
Thank you, Temple. Before our next prayer item, I'd like to call Kate Snow Charles from Akhanang and Unity's Power Organization. They'll tell us more about their part of fighting gender-based violence.
Kate from Akhanang Organization and Unity is Power. My level is mainly a Charles. But first, before we start, Charles, I would like to ask something about gender-based violence.
Mara, now my main concern is one. The more because of the root cause what the main cause equals her GPV and then it escalate. And then the more because of her the solution about the GPV. Now my main concern is one. Why the GPV? Because of the atoma, it's all about gender. Including ban, Maran taking you eating, it's one for it. At the end of the day, lay never side, somehow, they contribute to what we call GPV. And then the other thing in room address for GPV, the other thing, we need to talk about it. One thing, why GPs are they are playing part, because at the end of the day, we report a case, and then that case, and then the other thing, we must extend. If it meant for the Chief of Justice, there is certain cases in the room, they've been reported, but they've been vanished. Where are those cases? What happened to those cases? What happens to those victims? Because at the end of the day, kita bila was one report a GPV, our way forward, and which is it's wrong. We must be united, and then challenge states. There is certain thing because of at the end of the day, whenever go, but GPV, Mara abai address. I have suffered such thing. Thank you.
Wena makhelwane, wena chulu, what are you saying? What are you doing? Meaning you encourage them. Obviously, it's not like Anna Muto morning. Someone saw her, but I told her. It's not about Utwara, we are outside, and then or Utwara was a project. Did you get like Upanishid? Ha. Naunka venu jenje tamahal. Ausa vereka, o verekele batho ba bang. Re ina re patalang tax, o jethelta rona. O pat like wena umoni a shapa manyana oli. Bese wa thola ka sana o patala tax, a o jethelta hao. Meaning you encourage that. Ka leboga.
Ke kopa o thole music hanyane o ko tlele hanyane ntse ke wa le ntlantle ke re bena service ya candlelight ha e etswe fela. This is a Christian ritual. There's life in this light. And there is danger in this light. And there are steps that are supposed to be followed before you light candle. Anyway, Bible ere ha motho a sa tsebeng ntho ha entse pause a hona motho ya mo ahla. But bana beso akere ahlole, I'm here as a bishop, and the word of God say the bishop is to oversee that the work of God is done properly. Ha ona shortcut into engwe le engwe e tswang lebitsong la dintho tse tlhehlemanya maikutlo. Ha ba mametse stories tsa dibui tse pedi di bohlokwa haholo, and it's a signal. As we say, healing is a process. We need to heal, and a candle is symbolizing Christ. Jesus Christ, before he do everything, he start to teach disciples how to pray, and then he lighted a candle. Next time we'll follow that in the right way. I don't say this is not the right way. It is the right way, but I've just settled to Alexandra. Next time we will have a meeting and we'll do things in a proper way. I thank you. Are rabela are le modimo o re kgantshetse lesedi la hae. Light e tlosa seriti sa bohloko. Ngwana ka this light e tshwereng ka pela hao e tlosa bohloko le video drama e o e boneng bophelong ba hao. Ha se ha bonolo e tloha, empa through this candle modimo o tlosa tsohle, o di lahlela hole jwalo ka botjhabela bo le hole le bophirima. Mme light e akaretsa lefatshe lohle. O lighta candle mo le bona letsatsi le lightile a lightile Alexandra fela, e lighta the whole world. In your heart how rapela ka candle you ruta hore o rapelle batho bohle lefatshe lohle yo fitla le inyo ya o ka candle ho thusa motho e mo le mo ya tlokotsing ya tsietsi ya nang le story se tshwanang le seo batho ba ba ka taba bua ka sona. Me ba tswa ba ka parle re beng ka maoto re rapele e mo le mo a rapele a kopenda temotimo hore se light e tlose sefifi se aparetseng Alexandra dipolayano tsohle tse tswang ka lebaka la tlhekefetso ya basadi le bana ba bolauwang, basadi ba bolauwang. Modimo a tle a tlo kgantsha a lokise boemo ba ditaba. A re rapele e molemo a rapele lebitsong la ntate le la morale la moya o gala modimo wa rona re tlile jwale modimo re tla ka lapela hao wa tlosa bo ikokometse mahlo re tla ho wena modimo re le mehwaba le setjhaba re gopola o le sefapano modimo wa rona o tletse dikgahlela modimo wa rona o tletse maqeba modimo ebile leiso le sa bone modimo wa Israele o kene mofaphahlaho modimo wa Israele o hohle ntate ya go saya mahauto zelwane lefatshe lena le tena go lona modimo ke lefatshe go nna mere go motho ha o tlo re lwane le modimo wa rona ke tsietseng satane mo ka bala ka meya ya rona Satana o re kgelositse modimo re thetsitse o itse modimo ha o jwalo mme re a bona jwale re a shwa re tibela modimo re tlile modimo wa go tlo re tsoseletsa o re bontshe tsela sebaka mo re nte modimo wa Israele se rata o modimo wa Israele re utlwile ditori tse nyarosang modimo wa Israele tlo o tsosa bohloko jwale ha o le jwalo modimo wa Israele tlo fodise tlo ka oli ya hao le ka metsi ya hao Modimo le ka madi ya hao a hlatswa Modimo o re etsetse tsena le tse ding ka lebitso la Jesu Kriste wa Nazareth o re na le bophediso amen.
We give our lives to the ones that have gone away today because of COVID-19. We give our lives and our voice to Jabulele Nkosi, who was brutally murdered. We give our lives today to Samantha, who hasn't got justice. We say justice for Samantha. We give our voices to Dumisifolo, who has also fell victim of gender-based violence. We give our voices to all the men who are scared to speak out, who are scared to stand out, who are scared to name and shame their abusers. We give our voices to the women who are fighting to come out of toxic relationships. We give our voices to the women who are still battling because they are vulnerable, they have nowhere to go. We give our voices to Sheila. We say, be strong. We give our voices to every child that has gone missing. We say, Morena, Buluka Sichava Sa Yesu. Lord, heal our nation.